Something that I heard yesterday that made a huge impact on me in the way that I've started to look at advertising in the future. And the rest of the year, I guess we've got a month left, but for the rest of next year and the next 5 years, specifically, is the fact that the people in the West right now, they're the most insecure people of all time. Of all history combined, we're the most insecure. But on that same note, we're also the most hyper aware of advertising. So when we put out advertising or when, we see advertising or our customers see advertising, they know the game. They get it. They know that when they buy something, they know that how the page is formatted to get them to buy more. They understand it. Right? They know that when they buy one thing, they're going to see more offers for more things to their email or to their phone via SMS, right? They get it. They understand it. But that insecurity is always going to overpower their hyper awareness. And it doesn't matter how aware your market is of advertising. It doesn't matter how ineffective you think advertising might be now. The insecurity that people have and the willingness to do anything to keep that security, that fake security, I should say, and keep the pride that they have of the attention of people around them is always going to trump their hyper awareness of your advertising. So when you're advertising or you're putting out advertising or you're thinking of putting out advertising, don't be swayed by the fact that people seem to just turn off advertising now and they just seem to scroll past it. Don't be swayed by that because your message at its very core, and this has always been the case since the beginning of time, your message is always going to matter more than anything else. And your message has to adapt to the customers that you're trying to attract. And so if we put out advertising that's attracting a hyper-aware market of people that's also insecure, we play to their fear. Then we play to the things that they don't want to lose, which is the respect of people around them or perceived respect, the perceived attention of people around them, people looking at them, right? And then the willingness to do anything to not lose the pedestal that they feel that they're on compared to other people. And so if we can play to that, if we can play to that pride and that deep insecurity that they feel that they just try to cover up, it doesn't matter how aware our market is. If we make our message so good that it captures their attention and teaches them that, hey, this will solve this insecurity that you're feeling in a tactful way, we'll never lose customers. We'll never have to worry about gaining new customers. We'll never have to worry about people buying more stuff from us ever again. This is why, even though that we're in a recession right now, people are still buying designer clothes. This is why in every single economic downturn in the history of time, people continue to buy things that are advertised. Because the people that advertise in times of downturn are people who have their message dialed in enough that they trust themselves to run advertising during these economic downturns because they know that their message is so good, the advertising is going to be profitable no matter how much money people have. And people will always give you money when your message is right. And when you play to exactly what they want to hear. The two things that people do when they're buying anything from advertising is they're either trying to avoid pain or gain pleasure. And you can build a business off of trying to help people gain pleasure, right? But it's more impactful if you put out advertising that tries to help people avoid pain. People will always, they will drop everything to avoid pain, but they will do almost nothing to gain pleasure. So the sell is always easier when people are trying to avoid pain. So no matter what product you have, even if you are inherently not a problem-solving product, you're still playing to a pain that people have when they're buying your product. Even if you have clothes, right? That still solves that pain of not receiving enough attention from people around them, not feeling like they're important enough to get eyeballs on them, right? And avoiding the pain of having to come to terms with the fact that they're insecure about themselves. So when you're putting out advertising today, in the future, 2 years in the future, think about the insecurity that people in the West have. Think about the pride that they have. And how can you play into that?